The last 2 years, we've seen Alabama and now Notre Dame left out. And I think while the whole process looks foolish of how they end up with Notre Dame out and Miami in, because, again, this whole TV show that they create makes us have the perception of teams being where they are and staying where they are. But, I mean, if the bowl game, if the postseason was so important for Notre Dame, they sure didn't show it based on the reaction to being left out of the college football playoff, Chad.
So let me start with the sympathetic side of this for Notre Dame and their fans. It sucks. Like, everybody can acknowledge that being ranked ahead of Miami in every single show leading up to the main reveal and then getting swapped the last second and not going to the playoffs when you're expecting to go to the playoffs, it's a shot to it's a gut shot. It sucks. I get it. Everybody who's a sports fan, everybody who's ever competed in anything understands that's devastating to a team, to coaches, to fans, to the student athletes, everybody. It sucks, okay? And what ESPN did with that television show and how they made that swap is wrong, to give the false hope that they did. Now, on the flip side of that, someone was going to be devastated. Multiple people were going to be devastated on Selection Sunday yesterday with that show. I'm fine with Miami getting in with the head-to-head over Notre Dame. I got no problem with that. I'm fine with Alabama not moving, quite frankly. I knew it wasn't going to happen because Greg Sankey wasn't going to let it happen to an SEC championship game loser that had already secured a spot before that game and was the number one seed in that game going into it. So I knew they weren't going to drop out.
No
knew
doubt,
it wasn't going to drop out. And they went through a hell of a schedule. So Notre Dame being snubbed, it sucks because you felt like you were in. I have no problem with Notre Dame being snubbed based on resume. Do I think they're one of the 10 best in the country? Yeah, I do. Do I think James Madison and Tulane aren't one of the 12 best in the country? Hell no, they're not. They're both about to get pounded in round one. And that is not what is best for college football either. So I feel bad for you, Notre Dame. But here's where I don't feel bad for you. Your response to this, to go total bitch mode and take your ball and go home, is not setting the precedent you think it's setting. You're not screwing over ESPN. I understand that you're hurt. But oftentimes when we speak out of hurt and we have let the raw emotion decide immediately what we're going to do, many people have quit their job in a moment of anger and then regretted it later. Plenty of people have made bad decisions based out of raw emotion and anger. I believe Notre Dame made a bad decision out of raw emotion and anger. Quit when things don't go my way. Vanderbilt's response to getting snubbed from the college football playoff was, we're going to go to this bowl game and kick Iowa's ass. And I believe they're going to do that. There are plenty of other teams that said, well, nothing to do now. Nobody's going to feel sorry for us. We're not going to sit around here and do that. We're going to go and beat somebody's ass in a bowl game. You got one more chance to compete, so go and do it. I hate the direction college football has turned with some of this of it's got to be the college football playoff or there's no reason at all to play. I'm sure there were going to be opt-outs of that game for Notre Dame. I understand opt-outs if you were a first or second round NFL draft pick. I do. And I don't think any coach should hold it against the player if they decide, hey, I need to go do this for my future because I can't risk this so close to the NFL draft combine or whatever it is you're preparing for in your next steps. I understand that. But we got to get past this whole idea of let's let the kindergartners decide. Let's let the class decide. Hey, class, let's have a vote today. Do you want to do learning today or do you want to go have recess the whole time? Let's have a show of hands, class. Who wants to go do recess? Everybody, me. Who wants to stay in here and learn and work? Crickets. Of course the players are going to vote not to play in a bowl game. We decided as a team, let's look at that statement again. We decided as a team not to play because you're hurt and frustrated. Kansas State did the same thing. Iowa State did the same thing. Granted, I understand they don't have a coach, and they're saying we're not healthy enough or this and that. No, someone's got to be the adult. You're the athletic director. You're the coach. You're the president of the university. You're the chancellor. You make those decisions on whether or not you're going to play. And if you're paying guys now in this NIL era, well, they got to show up unless you work out an agreement with the coach that, hey, I'm going pro and I need to go ahead and make sure, or I'm out of here and I need to do this. This is not up to the players on these things. And I'm tired of it. And Notre Dame set a very dangerous precedent. I think Marcus Freeman's done a hell of a job. I think he's got a tough-minded football program. I think this is the least tough thing Notre Dame has ever done. And if he thinks he's really sticking it to ESPN, he's not. ESPN has the SEC, and they have the college football playoff, and they have all the bowl games. And people are going to watch bowl games no matter what. That's what we found out in years past. As the product even suffers because people opt out and don't play, people still watch those bowl games. Weak move by Notre Dame.
Hey, if you like the channel, become a season ticket holder for Hot Mic by clicking the subscribe button below and join the conversation in the comments section. Agree, disagree, we'll join you there in the chat. Now back to Hot Mic.
Yeah, we did. We watched without Alabama last year, right?
Yep.
Just keep that in mind. But see,
well, and we watched Alabama in the bowl game, too, I'm saying. ESPN, they're going to air the playoff and the bowl games.
Right. And that's what Notre Dame, from a business model, and again, I'm with you on this. It's don't be a pussy, right? But they're doing this from, here's the perspective of it. Right now, it was not as much Miami jumping Notre Dame as the ACC just jumped Notre Dame.
Yep.
Because Virginia lost to Duke. Virginia would have taken the spot of James Madison. They would have been the highest-ranked conference champion there compared.
And Notre Dame would have been in.
And Notre Dame would have stayed where they were. That's what happened, is Miami is in because they're a member of the ACC. ESPN has that contract, and what they don't have to pay for is what NBC and Peacock and Universal do. Notre Dame. So in the postseason, you get Notre Dame for free. And the one thing, and everyone's seen this by now, that they have this memorandum of understanding with Notre Dame moving forward. Next year, if the roles were exactly the same here, and details were the same, they would be guaranteed a spot in because of this MOU. Notre Dame is protecting itself for this exact moment because they feel like they will be pinned in by the SEC or Big Ten and ESPN for joining a conference. And their independence allows them to have that $80 million TV contract. They think that they'll be kicked out like this, hypothetically, moving forward. But they have a lot more bargaining power than we think because of their audience. Chad, though, this is not the way to actually lead.
It's not the way to affect change.
You don't go to the championship game and then turn around and do this.
Well, also,
right?
when you're the sole holdout, right? Like, you are the one that's independent, the only one. Everyone else has to bend to your rules as the independent. And Notre Dame's like, oh my gosh, all these big bad conferences are going to threaten us and leave us out. No, they're not. First off, you were almost right there in this time, and there is an argument for you to be out. It's not 100% you should have been in. And second, if that's really is a problem, then join a conference. You've got the option. You can join any one you want. You can join the best one. The SEC would love to have you. The Big Ten would love to have you if that's going to be an issue. But it's not going to be an issue for them.
Well, they don't
because moving forward, they have it written in the rules that they're going to be fine. So I don't understand all the complaining.
And I think there's some caveats to it. But
I get the disappointment based on the lead up and the other shows and the rankings, and they were done dirty that way. But this whole other thing, like, you are allowed to exist in a world no one else exists in, and you thrive in that existence by setting your own schedule and not having someone dictate a tough schedule to you. And you still exist with everyone. So get over it.
Yeah, but see, they would say, like, so you don't want us? Then why give us all these benefits for being a part of the college football? Again, the college football playoff wants Notre Dame. They can also use them, and it's ESPN. It is ESPN driven. The players, I think it's also the state of college football that we're in. You know, coaches would rather, instead of practicing with players, they'd rather go hit the portal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And that's another thing about the whole bowl debate. Like, you can't convince me that playing with younger players, like, yes, the wins and losses in the bowl game don't matter as much for the future of your program, but the added 15 practices, the developing the youth on your roster, them getting a chance to play in a game against actual college football players, guys that are going to stay for the next year, there is a benefit to that. There's a benefit to those programs. You can't convince me otherwise for all these teams that are like, no, we'd rather not play in a game. We'd rather not practice. Let's hit the links.
Yes.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to OutKick Hot Mic.
Daily content and more at OutKick Hot Mic on YouTube.